Do you know why Fairy-type Pokemon were introduced in the franchise? To balance out the Dragon and Dark types. Introduced in Generation 5, the Fairy-type was super effective against both. They even managed to give an offensive advantage to the Poison and Steel-type Pokemon. Wondering what are the strongest Fairy-types out there? Let's begin. Number 10. Togepi. This tiny Pokemon has gained enormous popularity over the past 20 years, especially considering its climb to competitive viability after gaining a second evolution with Togekiss in Diamond and Pearl. It was first made popular after being caught by Misty in the anime. Togepi is conceptually intriguing, has fantastic evolutions, and can brighten up just about any team it's a part of, despite not necessarily being the best Pokemon on its own. That's because most baby Pokemon have relatively low stats. After all, they're, literally babies. Number 9. Florges. This Fairy-type Pokemon never gets the recognition it deserves for some strange reason. It only has two disadvantages. It's a pure Fairy-type and is immune to Dragon. Florges can learn strong special techniques like Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam. It also has a terrifying special defense stat of 154, which ranks it with Lugia and Huo for the joint 5th highest special defense in Pokemon history. If there was ever evidence that appearances may be deceiving, this flower's covert transformation into a monster fits the definition well. Number 8. Wigglytuff. We hear you, it's just a cute Pokemon, and its presence among the top fairy types in the game is more of an accident than a reflection of its quality. While Wigglytuff's defense is awful, 45, its attack stat, 70, is at most acceptable. However, a 295 stamina stat largely compensates for this, enabling Wigglytuff to deal out some respectable DPS. Additionally, it's capable of learning Play Rough and Dazzling Gleam movesets, both of which may be combined with Charm to create a powerful combination of Fairy-style moves. Number 7. Alolan Ninetales. An Ice-type Pokemon, but also a Fairy-type. When necessary, it's capable of transforming into a hybrid attacker, with Charm and Weather Ball serving as perfect substitutes for Fairy and Ice-type attacks. Although its attack 76 and defense 75 stats aren't very outstanding, they are still more than enough when attacking a vulnerable target. Additionally, due to its extreme durability, players have a little bit longer to react to its counters than they would when compared with other Fairy types in the game. Number 6. Clefable. Clefable is a good choice for anyone wishing to add a Fairy type to their squad because it was one of the first pure Fairy type Pokemon to be added to Pokemon Go. Its overall damage output is respectable, and when Charm and Dazzling Gleam are equipped, its DPS output becomes impressive. Despite having average attack and defense numbers 70 and 73 respectively, Clefable can deal damage far more quickly than some of its competitors thanks to its strong stamina. If you have Clefable on your team and you wish to give your Pokemon a little more versatility, you might want to teach it Pound or Charge Beam instead of Charm. Number 5. Sylveon. A pure Fairy-type Pokemon that's loaded with potential if you have the time to train it. Like many other Fairy types in the game, Sylveon performs well thanks to Charm and Dazzling Gleam movesets. Its damage output is also somewhat increased when it's up against an opponent in foggy conditions. This is a good thing considering its attack and defense are both 65. Number 4. Xerneas. Some of you might be surprised to hear that Xerneas isn't the game's strongest Fairy type given its position as a legendary Pokemon, and that it's one of the game's few pure Fairy types. But this Gen 6 legendary can handle astounding damage when summoned. Xerneas can quickly inflict damage on opponents thanks to its excellent attack 131 and defense 95 ratings, especially while using Moonblast. Without planning, it can potentially be a challenging Pokemon to defeat. Number 3. Aromatisse. Aromatisse really shines when it comes to stamina. It has a decent attack and defense stat of 72. However, if it isn't up against Poison or Steel-type Pokemon, most players shouldn't have too much trouble with this. Aromatisse has access to Psychic, making it one of its finest charge moves in terms of damage potential, like many other Fairy-type Pokemon. While Moonblast is also an excellent choice for the Pokemon's second move, those who want an all-Fairy-type build should instead select Charm and Draining Kiss. Number 2. Togekiss. Togekiss's performance in Pokemon Go will probably surprise a lot of gamers given how unimpressive it can be in the mainline games. Its stamina makes it faster than most of the other playable Fairy types in the game. Its attack stat is 50, whereas its defense stat is 95. Teach Charm and Dazzling Gleam to Togekiss if you want it to attack exclusively with Fairy-type moves. On the other hand, anyone seeking to fight a Togekiss should think about bringing a Mega Gengar or Metagross, though Mega Beedrill can also work. Number 1. Shadow Gardevoir. It's one of the finest Fairy-type Pokemon thanks to its damage potential and dual-type abilities. You must be wondering, isn't its overall damage output a bit lower than others in the game? Yes. However, its DPS is unmatched, which gives it a strong advantage over others. With 237 attack and 195 defense stats, it's a remarkable choice indeed. Gardevoir can deal out some amazing damage with Charm and Dazzling Gleam, and its access to Psychic-type techniques allows it to fill numerous places on the squad if necessary. The fact that it thrives in windy or foggy conditions further solidifies its position as the most powerful Fairy-type Pokemon in the game.